It is a practical subject, and the same is being
ఆడుకోని చెప్పారు సార్ వేరే ఎవరన్నా
you will come across this if you have a client who is dealing in restaurant services or hotel accommodation or transportation of passengers, housekeeping services. If any of these notified services are provided through e-commerce operator, then the tax is to be paid by the e-commerce operator. You know this famous example of Swiggy and Zomato? You generally see day morning to day night, you are taking the CA course. You don't have the time to food. You don't have the time to WhatsApp. You forget Instagram. You forget Facebook. You are staying away from the, I think I'm talking on the right way. You're staying away from the social media, fully loading with the articles work, remaining hours are fully equipped with CA curriculum. Sometimes you crossed your lunch also. So you ordered Swiggy and Zomato, which is a very usual thing nowadays. Now you tell me, who is the person collecting tax in respect of the food supplied through e-commerce operator like Swiggy and Zomato, etc. They are only, I'm not the promoter of Swiggy and Zomato. There are the only two operators which are available. One of my client has launched an app successfully, and he want to compete with this international MNC players. That particular launch of app by my client has driven me to dig into the concept of e-commerce operator. Only when you get a chance to practical exposure, then you will be interesting to know this. So one of my client launched an app similar to Swiggy Zomato, where you order and they deliver and they charge money. This table is required and it has been included in 3B with effect from 1st August up to 31st July. The concept is different, but the tax collection is changed from 1st January. But the tax, the collected and paid, the disclosure in respect of that particular modus operandi of disclosure of that particular sale through e-commerce operator, sale of food by a restaurant through e-commerce operator has been changed by way of inserting a separate table 3.1.1 in 3B. Suppose if you have a restaurant, you are running a restaurant. Your restaurant is listed with, empaneled or listed or associated with Zomato. A customer places an order to Zomato. Earlier, if the customer is not having money, COD option is available. If he is having net banking or directly, he can pay the amount. At the amount screen, you will be surprised to know certain hotels, if you order food from certain hotels, GST is not charged. If you order food from certain prominent players who are having higher turnover, GST will be charged. It ignited me a point that why this is happening, because earlier, before the introduction of tax liability, before the shifting of tax liability onto the shoulders of e-commerce operator, the hotels are liable to collect taxes. Swiggy or Zomato or the e-commerce operator platform, ECO is only a intermediary who delivers the food to you, takes the money, retains his commission, and also are liable to collect TCS, which will be deducted. Even though it is termed as TCS, it will be deducted from the money payable to the restaurant. After retiring my money, my commission for this delivery, plus GST on the commission. Okay. After deducting TCS out of the amount payable, base value payable to the restaurant, I will return the amount to the restaurant. Restaurant is liable to pay the taxes by including it in the outward taxable supplies. So restaurant will have two taxable supplies. One is dine-in facility, sale directly by the restaurant. Another one is sale made by it through e-commerce operator. Two. Is it clear? అంటే మనం డైరెక్ట్ గా అమ్మినది, మనం ఈ-కామర్స్ ఆపరేటర్ ద్వారా అమ్మినది, మొత్తం కూడా మనం అమ్మినది. మనకి రెస్టారెంట్ కి GST నెంబర్ ఉంటే వీఆర్ లైబుల్ టు కలెక్ట్ GST. మనకి రెస్టారెంట్ కి GST నెంబర్ లేకపోతే there is no requirement to charge GST. That's the reason when you pick up an order for a particular restaurant, sometimes GST is added, sometimes GST is not added in the erstwhile scenario before the shifting of the liability to the shoulders of the e-commerce operator. Now, if you put forth an order, if you place an order in the Swiggy or Zomato like platforms, you come to know that they are charging the taxes, because in this year there was a phenomenal change that the e-commerce operators, in order to curb the short payment of taxes, it was proposed to charge the tax in the hands of the ECO. So ECO is liable to collect the taxes in respect of the sale made by a restaurant through ECO. ECO is liable to pay to the government. So నేను ఒక రెస్టారెంట్ రన్ చేస్తున్నా, ఇప్పుడు నాకు taxable outward supply అంటే ఏంటి? The sale made by me directly. If the sale is made by me through e-commerce operator, who is liable to pay the taxes? By collecting from the customer. Collection is from the customer only, but the liability is shifted to ECO. I directly sold 100 rupees. I will collect 5%. Restaurant. I sold 100 rupees through ECO. ECO will collect 100 plus 5. He will hand over only 100 rupees to me, 5 rupees directly paid to the government. This is the modus operandi. Now, how to disclose the same in the returns? The change was happened long back from the January onwards. But the problem here is the particular change was not accommodated in the GSTR 1 and 3B. So what the restaurants are actually doing is the direct sale made by them is being shown in GSTR 1. B2C supplies usually. But the indirect sale made by the restaurant through e-commerce operator is included in exempt supplies because there is no other column, because they are not liable to pay tax on it. You cannot simply say it is a reverse charge because it is not in the reverse charge notification. It is a forward charge on which some other person on behalf of you collect the taxes and pay to the government. Now, with effect of 1st August, after representations from the stakeholders, government inserted this table and it is asking us supplies on which electronic commerce operator pay tax under section 9.5. So if a person is notified under section 9.5 is covered under 9.5 and a service is notified under section 9.5, that person is liable to collect the taxes. So the turnover made by the restaurant, but on which tax is collected by the ECO and the paid by ECO shall be different. What about restaurant owner? For the restaurant owner, the sale made by him is liable to be taxed and shown in 3.1 directly taxable outward supply. But the sale made by him through e-commerce operator, already e-commerce operator discharges the taxes. That is the reason you are required to show in this particular taxable supplies made by registered person through electronic commerce operator, on which electronic commerce operator is required to pay tax. That means I sold 100 rupees. You are the e-commerce operator. In your return, you are required to show it in Roman number. In my return, I am required to show it in Roman number 2 because it is a supply made by me, on which you are liable to pay the taxes. The problem here is they have amended this 3B, but they have not made a particular corresponding amendment in GSTR 1. I cannot say it's a drafting problem or I cannot say it's a loose end, but still, in GSTR 1, I sold 100 rupees. You show it in B2C supply. I sold 100 rupees through e-commerce operator because I am not liable to pay tax on it. There is no column in it. I show it in it will auto-populate from GSTR 1 to 3B in exempt supply column. Then you have to manually remove. Shift to 1.1 point number Roman number 2. Am I right? But please make sure that any omission or deletion or rectification of a particular 3B will make the 3B into there is only one color, red color, which may trigger an inquiry from the department. But please make sure you have all the data, and also ECO is also required to punch the data in his return also. There will be matching mechanism, there will be reconciliation of data is possible, and there is a chance for you to explain the reason for such this mismatch. You will show, but you will shift from exempt turnover to 3.1.1 clause 2. Because there is a separate table in it, but there is no corresponding table in GSTR 1, which the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India has already made a representation. I think they will make a change. Next, GSTR 3B table 4 ITC active in GST portal with effect from sir. That madam, doubt madam. Can I answer in the mid of this session? Last bit. Sir, last long. So whatever the doubts you have, you just try to ask me at the end of the session. If I know the answer, I will convince you. If I don't know the answer, I will try to confuse you. GSTR 3B, table 4, ITC, with effect from 1st September 2022. What is the effective date of this change? 1st September. Actually, the portal was changed with effect from 1st September. Notification came in the long back in the month of July. And the changes were to be made from August onwards. But the portal was not changed. See, you know, there are two issues. One is act. Another one is notification to make a provision effective. Third one is circular to provide the clarity. And the fourth one, there is another issue for us, that is CPC Portal Act, which means sometimes even though we want to do certain things, system won't allow. Recently, couple of days back onwards, Section 139(8)(a) of the Income Tax Act, which gives you a window to file updated return, which earlier allowed returns up to 5 lakhs also with a 1,000 rupees late fee, is now stopped, and they are not allowing any filing of updated returns under Section 139 clause 8(a), which earlier allowed. Couple of days back only they stopped. They stopped and saying that since the net amount payable is 0, you are not liable to adopt 139(8)(a). That means indirectly they are saying, they are also giving an error. Please make sure that your net amount is more than 0. That means you have to offer at least some tax. If you cross 5 lakhs by 1 rupee also, your minimum liability could be 12,500. So that's a different issue. Representations were made. There was no prohibition in the Income Tax Act Section 139(8)(a) to not to file such return, but the portal is not allowing. So in the same way, first is the PDF. Accept code. ఇది కదా PPT కదా. అదే So the changes were already placed in 1st September onwards in the portal. If you look at the description of table number 4, in respect of which changes were made by the portal, 4A 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all remain same, but ITC reversed as per rule 38, 42 and 43 of CGST rules and section 17 subsection 5. This was the new nomenclature which the government has introduced, and they call it as permanent reversal. You have to learn certain new terminology which takes place in the concept of revised 3B. It's a permanent reversal. 4B2, earlier also it is others, now also it is others, but it is called as temporary reversal. So 4A2, 4A1 to 4A5, all other ITC. 4A1, import of goods. 4A2, import of services, it will not auto-populate as you are required to manually punch it. 4A3, inward supplies liable to reverse charge. 4, inward supplies from IST, all other ITC. What is your favorite item? 4A, 4A5, all other ITC. ITC reversed. See, here there are two limbs. One is as per rule 38, 42, 43 of rules and 17.5. Blocked credits, you know, section 17.5 prescribes certain credits which are as blocked credits, and you are not entitled to take credit in respect of the transactions which are notified under 17.5 and also called as blocked credits. And rule 38, 42, 43. If you are required to reverse a credit under rule 38, 42, 43, or if a credit itself is ineligible under section 17 subsection 5, then in such case you are required to mention the same in 4B1 as permanent reversal, which means a non-reclaimable credit. All the new terminology, same old form, same old concept of GST, but the terminologies were changed by way of a circular. Surprisingly, the terminologies were introduced by way of a circular, not by way of a notification. Okay. You may even ask me, sir, you are saying a notification has already been issued, the changed the form, but how to disclose the content in the revised 3B has been prescribed by a circular. Whether a circular can do that. Because when you are asking a phenomenal change in the notification, see, form 3B, and asking a data and putting some permanent reversal or a kind of temporary reversal names, can you offer it? Can you ask the public through a circular? Actually, at least the instructions to form 3B, they have to be amended. Only with respect to e-commerce operators, the amendment was placed. But entire disclosure requirement of new schema of permanent reversal, temporary reversals, reclaim, and section 16, subsection 4, ITC related to previous rules, which are required to be punched as other details in 4D1, 4D2. All these are put forth through, clarified through a circular. Anyways, as I already told you, an act will come, a notification will come, and a form will be changed, and a circular will be issued. Finally, we will wait for the portal to open. And when the portal open, it will ask some more information of the record, which is not yet required by the system. See, but form GSTR 9 and 9C, afternoon orders, so you are going into travel into or jump into the C of 9 and 9C. For the last couple of days, I have been continuously taking seminars and sessions as part of the CPE education program of ICAI at different forums and different branches with respect to GSTR 9 and 9C. But please make it sure this year 9 and 9C will have two issues. I will explain you, which is having impact on 3B also. And the next year 9 and 9C, you are going to face a lot of challenges because this year 3B is going to impact next year GSTR 9 and 9C, and take it from me, they are going to be again changes. But what is the time limit which you are entitled to take input tax credit in respect of invoices or debit notes pertaining to the financial year 21-22? What is the last date? Last date to claim missed ITC is already over? Over or not? If you file 3B, over. If you file 3B of October, it is already over. Because you can't claim such missed ITC in the month of November, because the November 3B can be filed only after 30th November. That's the reason they said filed up to 30th November. So whatever reconciliation is pending, I asked my clients not to file 3B, pay with late fees, and file before 30th November and claim the missed ITC. That's the only option available. But the problem here is the said time limit extension was even applicable to amendments of 1 and 3B, section 39, 37, 1 and 3B also. The chances are available. The said terminology was made effective as part of amending instructions of GSTR 9. Recently, I think on 15th, they have issued a notification 22/2022, prescribing that the changing the time limit of the wording of instructions of 2021, because for the year 21-22, the time limit was changed to 30th November, but the instructions of Form 9 was only 30th September. That was changed by way of a notification. But the same is not, the instructions of 3B were not enormously changed, only by way of a circular. They are requiring these disclosures to be made. What are the changes? If you take table A, sir, we are looking at the change wise, no change, no change, no change, no change. Sir, can you skip that slide? Because there is no change. See, the change indicates nomenclature. But the way in which you present the data in 4A, your favorite item 5, all other ITC, has gone a ramification, has gone a C change. Name itself is all other ITC. But the way in which you declare the data in all other ITC has been changed. So, if you look at 4A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the ITC availment tables, the availment tables do not have undergone any change in respect of the name or the nomenclature used in Form 3B. If you go to 4B1, earlier it was Rule 42-43, 38 was not there, 17.5 was not there. You are required to disclose ineligible credit only in other information. Okay. But if you look at ITC reversed, as per Rule 38, 42, 43 of CGST rules and subsection 17, subsection 5. Subsection 5, provisions of subsection 5 of 17, blocked credits. So what is the change here? If you want to reverse a credit, if that reversal is on account of rule 38, what is 38? Rule 38? Banking company, 50% ITC reversal by a banking company or a financial institution. 42, what is rule 42 reversal? See, you are going to fill GSTR 9 and 9C in the afternoon session. And you have to know what is you mean by 40 to 43. What is 40 to 43? All the reversals of 3B for the financial year 21-22, will they travel to GSTR 9 table number 7? Only 3B data availment will travel. ITC reversal will not travel. And you have to take the ITC reversal from 3B and punch the same into table 7 by virtue of 37, 38, 42, 43 ineligible credit, like that. Okay. Now, so what is 42 and 43? What is 42 and 40? 43, 42 is with respect to proportionate reversal of input tax credit on the inputs which are used in the supply of taxable as well as exempt supplies or non-business purposes. What is 43 then? See, instead of inputs, you use the term capital goods. Inputs or input services are covered in 42. 43 is covering capital goods. If the capital goods are common capital goods are used for supplying exempt as well as taxable goods, proportionate reversal as calculated in 43, rule 43 has to be punched here. What is 17.5? Can you give me one best example? Simply say motor car. Your dealer has purchased a motor car. He'll come to you. He'll give a box of gifts to you. Sir, I bought Mercedes Benz. One of my clients recently bought a Audi car. He came to me with a very good positive thought that he's going to get the credit of ITC. Okay. I generally don't accept sweets when he purchased a car because he will take it back. When I say credit is not enough. So the client comes to me and he said that, sir, I purchased a car. You please avail the credit. I said, sir, sorry, sir. That is in section 17, subsection 5. Okay. I'm going to present a seminar in Vijayawada and I'm required to ask everybody to punch the data in 4B1 and it is called as permanent reversal. You don't understand anything. That's a different issue. Permanent reversal, sir, when the permanent reversal is reversed, you are not entitled to take any credit. And he may be surprised and said, sir, no, don't worry, sir. Credit is available. It will come in my 2A. And it will come in my 2B also. Whatever comes into 2B, if you open the window, air will come. Every air may not be good for your health. So, if you open your 2A and 2B, car dealer unfortunately will tell the client, sir, this is 50 lakhs car, 40 lakhs is taxable value, 10 lakhs is tax, and you will get it as a credit. You will return it. You only spend 40 lakhs, you buy this beautiful car. But we say as an enemy to the party, we look as an enemy to the party that credit is not allowed. See, వాళ్ళకి కారు కొన్న బాధ కంటే సంతోషం కంటే క్రెడిట్ రాదన్న బ్లాక్డ్ క్రెడిట్ అన్న బాధే కొంచెం ఎక్కువగా ఉంటుంది. పైగా 2Aలోకి లోపలికి వచ్చేసింది. 2B లోపలికి వచ్చేసి 2Bలోకి 2Aలోకి వస్తే క్రెడిట్ తీసుకోలేరు మీరు. ఓకే, మీకు ఎలిజిబిలిటీ ఉంటే క్రెడిట్ తీసుకుంటారు. ఎస్, డిప్రిసియేషన్ ఆన్ ద ట్యాక్స్ కాంపోనెంట్. అట్లీస్ట్ సార్ చెప్పినట్టే డిప్రిసియేషన్ ఆన్ ద ట్యాక్స్ కాంపోనెంట్, సార్ we also said the party, sir, don't worry, you increase the profits, but still you can claim the depreciation. And that's good, sir. Please share the working also. So net ITC available. What is net ITC available? In 4A 1 to 5 we have punched the eligible credit. In 4B 1 to 2 we have punched the ineligible reversible credits. And we'll let me deal with 4B2 others. Whatever the credit that you are going to reverse, which is a permanent in nature, which is non-reclaimable in future periods, that has to be in 4B1. అంటే 4B1 లో పంచి చేసే క్రెడిట్ మళ్ళీ తిరిగి క్లెయిమ్ చేయొచ్చా చేయకూడదా? No, it is called permanent reversal. That's the name that the circular has given. It's a permanent reversal. 17.5 blocked credit, it will be added to the cost of the car. You can claim depreciation. Even if you wait till 31st March, even if you wait till 30th September or 30th November of the next year, it will not be available. It is non-reclaimable. It is ineligible. And hence you have to punch in 4B1. Am I right? 4B1 లో రివర్స్ చేయాలి అంటే 4A5 లో ఉండాలా అక్కర్లేదా? If you want to reverse a particular item in 4B1 as a permanent reversal, was it to be forming part of 4A5 figure? 4A5, if you don't put in 4A5, what will happen? If you reverse it, it will have a double amount and loss of ITC. Net ITC to be traveled to electronic credit ledger will be affected. Am I right? So 100 rupees is the eligible ITC from all the 5 limbs. 10 rupees permanent reversal, 20 rupees temporary reversal. Keep in parking, what is temporary reversal? Total 30 rupees. 100 minus 30. What will be credited to electronic credit ledger? 70. Is it clear? Next. You are also required to put forth the 4D, other details. You may be wondering that, sir, earlier also in 3B, if you see at the left side of the table, ineligible ITC, as per section 17.5, what is ineligible? As per, see, your books of account and reconciled data with the 2A and 2B, what is the other ineligible data? If a data is, required to be ineligible, is it because of 17.5 or is it because of other reasons? You have to punch the data in 3B earlier also. I don't know how many of you have followed it. Generally, if you buy a car, 100 rupees is the eligible credit. 10 rupees is ineligible credit by virtue of 17.5. Generally, what we tend to follow is, we need to punch 100 rupees in 4A5, 10 rupees in 4D, subsection 1, if it is falling under 17.5 in the earlier 3B also. Generally, people have not followed it. You have only taken net eligible ITC into all other ITC. Now the scenario has changed. What is 4D1? ITC reclaimed, which was reversed under table 4B2 in the earlier tax period. So it is asking us, you please provide me the data. I will allow the tax credit. Whatever the tax credit you are going to claim in this month, out of the pool which you have already reversed in the earlier month, then you mention in this 4D1. What do you mean by this? 180 days credit. దానికన్నా ఒక సింపుల్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఉంది. మీ దగ్గర ఇన్వాయిస్ ఉంటుంది, గూడ్స్ ఉంటాయి, బుక్స్ ఉన్నాయి, బుక్స్ లో ఎంట్రీ ఉంది, but still you are not entitled to take credit. Which form is preventing? Yeah, goods not received is the best kind of example. 180 days non-payment within 180 days is also, these are the points which triggers you to reverse the credit. But subsequent satisfaction of the conditions may again give a chance to you to re-eval the credit. Am I right? But one condition, I think she has already fought with so many suppliers, and she made calls as part of her articles team. You are not filed, you are not filed. Up to 11th, they will say we will file. After 12th, anyways, we have not filed. What is to be done? So our business is to look at the business of the supplier. Look at the compliance of the vendor. He has to file. He has to involve the invoice in GSTR 1. He has to file it by 11th only. 11th is the muhurtam time. 11th night, you will become ineligible. I don't understand the reason why the time is available between 11th to 20th. See, after 12th, suppose, let us assume on 12th you have filed. Are you able to take the credit in this month as per the guidance? If you want to litigate, that's a different issue. No, credit is not available. It is available in the next month. What is the expectation of the government? Supplier is already paid the taxes on 12th, and you are also liable to pay the taxes. Is it not double amount, double count, or double taxation? Is it the right spirit of cascading, elimination of cascading effect by way of introduction of GST? No. But we shouted that, sir, 2A and sir, 2A is very cumbersome task, sir, please remove it. What they have done? 36.4 they have introduced. Again, we have shouted, sir, what is 20%? Sir, give at least 50% or 30% buffer, 20% buffer. They reduced it to 10%. We again shouted, they reduced it to 5%. We again shouted. They have introduced 2B. Don't shout, they will introduce 2C. Don't shout anymore. Please comply with the law. Otherwise, 2C to 2Z options are available. Alphabets are vacant. So please try to understand what is the flow of the credit. In order to understand this 4D1 and 2, what is the flow of the credit? You please recollect how input tax credit traveled in GST. See, in GST, in the initial days, we troubled with outward turnover. To a greater extent, output turnover, outward supplies are settled to a greater extent now. But the troubling item is input tax credit. How input tax credit traveled? Excuse me. How input tax credit traveled? How the input tax credit traveled or made its journey in the GST? Let me recollect that from Rule 36.4 is a nightmare section, nightmare provision rule. Without having a basic section in the act, they have introduced a rule. Okay, Rule 36.4, which is made part of GST rules and restricting you to take only 20% extra of what is eligible appearing in the 2A. That is made with effect from 9th October 2019. See, in GST, I don't understand. They never implement any provision with effect from 1st April. They implement all the provisions. The analogy, this theme was borrowed by the CBDT also. They started also introducing TDS, TCS provisions from 1st July. 3 months TCS, 9 months TDS. People confused. They made TCS on all the transactions. This person has already deducted on all the double count. By the time they reach us, he already collected TCS, he already deducted TDS. Hope you are already facing such kind of scenarios, particularly in the petroleum companies. They suddenly shifted to TCS without even intimating the dealer. See, they will ask some question. Dealer in a rush to say yes or no. He will, instead of putting no, he will just click yes and TCS will be started. So programs are like, they are drafted in such a manner. Anyways, after 2019, immediately from 1st January 2020, they said, no. You cannot avail 20%. Suppose 100 rupees. Suppose 100 rupees is available in 2A till January 1, 2020. You can avail how much? If that 100 is total credit, 90 is eligible. 90 plus 20%. If the 100 is eligible, 100 plus 20. That means up to 120 you can avail. Am I right? At the time there was no 2B. Na? That means even if an invoice is not reflecting in 2A, you can avail up to 20% buffer. Okay. 20% buffer you need to calculate based on the eligible credit appearing on the 11th of next month. But this 2A is a dynamic data. People are, see, after 12th, people have started filing and it is a dynamic data. That is the reason it triggered birth to 2B and the mindset of the people have changed. Anyways, from 1st January 20, the buffer of 20% was reduced to how much? 10%. Within fraction of months, they reduced it to 10%. Okay, they have given a medicine of Rule 36.4 and it's like vaccine. It spread like anything. 36.4 was changed to 10% immediately 1st January 20 onwards. What is the next change? I think these people like January, I think. Every January, they provide compulsory, some changes which are making compulsory to follow e-invoice rules. Also to making some rules rule changes in Rule 36.4, taking down or giving a lesser shelter or buffer to the party, to the dealer. With effect from 1st January 2021, okay, what the change happened? Was it reduced to 0 or 5%? So from 1st January 21 onwards, it was reduced to 5%. 100 eligible credit, you can take 105. What happened in 1st January 22? It was made as 0. Rule 36.4 was changed. Rule 36.4 is no more making any reference to 2A. It simply said that the invoices have to be reflected in 1 or IFF, invoice furnishing facility, by the supplier, and they must be made communicated and available to 2B, available in 2B to the party, 2B to the recipient. Then only you are entitled to take credit. And we say, generally, our consultants and other litigants or the advocates or other people who are fighting for the SSE, they argued that, sir, how can you restrict Rule 36.4? How can you restrict the credit by way of Rule 36.4? Because there is no legal backing in the act. You look at section 16. Section 16 never stated anything with respect to 2A and 2B. How can you say in Rule 36.4 you are not entitled to take more than 20%, more than 10%, more than 5%? How can you say that? A rule cannot override act. When a parent provision is missing in the legislation, can you put in the circular or can you put in the rule and make a circular? No. A rule cannot override enactment. That's the limit which we are available to us to fight at least. We are shouting on the ground. What they have made is, they have made a provision in section 16 to AA, saying that unless as specified in Rule 36.4, you are complied, your credit is not tenable. That means now, can you shout like that? Rule 36.4 is overriding the enactment? No. Section 16(2)(a) was already placed, made effective from 1st January 22. So what is the provision from 1st January 22? So what is the financial year you are going to file GSTR on 9C? Financial year 21, 22. How many months? 12 months, unless the dealer takes registration in the middle of the year. 12 months. 12 months, first 9 months, April 1, 21 to 31st December 2021. What is the credit criteria? 100 plus 5%. From 1st January to 31st March, 3 months. What is the credit criteria? 0 based on 2B. 9 months 2A plus 5%. 3 months 2B, 0% buffer. Am I right? With this background, you are required to punch the data in 3B. You are also required to listen to the classes that you are going to take, or the sessions which you are going to share with the 9 and 9C. Okay. So now they are expecting 4D2. What is 4D2? Ineligible ITC under section 16(4) and ITC restricted due to POS provisions. So what is ineligible ITC under section 16(4)? Time barred. Suppose if a supplier has filed the invoices as part of his GSTR on after 30th November, are you entitled to take credit? Your auto-drafted 2B itself in table 4 mark it as ITC not available. And POS provisions. I am having a place of supply in Andhra. I'm having registration in Andhra. I traveled to some other state. I stayed in a hotel. And the hotel people have given bill in the form of Telangana SGST, Telangana GST. Is credit available to me? I will give the GST number. He will upload to 2A and it will travel to 2B. Since my place of supply is Andhra Pradesh, it will mark it as not available. Those two kind of time barred credits are the ineligible credit due to POS problem, have to be punched in 4D2. Sir, was it automatic or we have to manually punch? They said it will be auto-populated from 2B to 3B, but the 2B was not aligned still now. So you have to manually identify that invoices out of 100 invoices. Okay. Let us try to fix out of 100 invoices you bought. Okay. Only 90 invoices are available in 2B. Why 10 invoices are not appearing? Supplier slept. Okay. He has become alert only on 12th. Supplier slept. So what is happening is, out of 100 invoices which you have bought, which you have accounted for in your books, only 90 invoices are reflected in 3B. Sorry, 2B, which travel to 3B. Out of 90 invoices, 2 invoices are ineligible. 2 invoices are spilling over after the due date. Those 2 invoices will find place in which table? 4D2. Out of 100 invoices, 90 invoices are appearing. 10 invoices are not appearing. Can you take credit or not? If that is pertaining to April to December, 5% quota is applicable. If that is pertaining to January 22 to 31st March, no quota is applicable. If it is pertaining to February month, only 90 invoices are eligible. Am I right? Okay. Based on this input tax credit traveling mechanism, based on this eligibility criteria, with which the ITC has gone a lot of changes right from 2017 July 1st onwards to till date, we will go into the recent mechanism of permanent reversal and temporary reversal, how to disclose 4A25, how to disclose 4B1, 4B2, and how to disclose 4D1, 4D2. Okay. What is permanent disclosure? Erased? Already gone into air. What is permanent disclosure? Sorry, permanent reversal. What is permanent reversal? Blocked credits which are non-reclaimable in the subsequent periods. Nothing but cost to the product. What is temporary reversal? A particular credit is to be reversed now, but we are sure of confirming certain conditions and we are entitled to claim it as again claimable credit in the subsequent periods once we satisfy the conditions pertaining to eligibility of input tax credit. This is the parent notification 14/2022, which made all the significant changes. In this form 3B. This is the parent notification. If you want, you can download it and refer 14/2022. This 43 council meeting has triggered all these events. Changes in table 4 of GSTR 3B, reporting of ITC availment, reversal and ineligible. The notified changes of table 4 of 3B have been incorporated from which month? 1st September. The taxpayers are advised to report. This is the advisory. The wording is copied from advisory issued by GSTIN. The taxpayers are advised to report the ITC availment, reversal of ITC and ineligible ITC correctly as per the following format of table 4 of 3B at GST portal for the GSTR 3B to be filed for the period August onwards. That means for any period prior to August, if you are filing the data, you can follow the old methodology. But for the period August onwards, you are required to follow the methodology of this particular revised 3B. These changes in reporting table 4 are not applicable for the period prior to August 2022. Am I right? The notified changes of table 4 of 3B have been incorporated in 3B. ఇప్పుడు మీరు 3B ఓపెన్ చేసి చూస్తే కనుక కొత్త ఫార్మ్స్ కనబడతాయి, కొత్త tables. And they are available on GST portal since September 1st, 22. The taxpayers are advised to report their ITC availment. In which tables you avail? 4A1, 4A2, 4A3, 4A4, 4A5. Reversal. What is reversal? How many reversals are there? See, I'm asking the questions to you just to confirm that you are not slept. So reversal, even if you are sleeping, please don't lean to the other person's shoulder because he's already sleeping. His sleep will get disturbed. Okay. So reversal of ITC. What is reversal of ITC? There are two kinds of reversals. Permanent, temporary. Permanent, khata close. We are not entitled to anymore. Temporary, we will decide later. Now we will reverse it. Later, we may avail it. As per the new format of table 4 of 3B at GST portal for the 3B to be filed for the period August 22 onwards. These are the changes. The red font. See, I use it to see red color in every month 3B. Definitely. Because if you want to file a 3B without a red color, in my opinion, you can file only for the petrol bunks where there is no input tax credit, or at least for the people who do not have any tax credit, exempt supplies. Most comfortable audits are petrol filling station audits. No GST at all. Okay. Till such time, they are not brought into purview of the GST, non-GST supplies. What are the red font? Red color rows are replaced by new form of 3B. Earlier, the description was different. Now it was different. IT is reversed as per rule 38, 42, 43 of CGST rules and section 17.5. Earlier, you don't punch blocked credit. You don't avail, you don't reverse. Now you are required to avail and reverse. అంటే మీ దగ్గర 100 ఇన్వాయిస్ 2B లో ట్రావెల్ చేసినాయి, దాంట్లో 2 ఇన్వాయిసెస్ 17.5 లో కవర్ అయిన ఇన్ఎలిజిబుల్ క్రెడిట్స్. Are you required to avail it in 4A5 and reverse it in 4B1, or you are not required to avail at all? First one, which means you are required to first avail and reverse. Reversal of which column, which row? 4B1 or 4B2? See, you have 2 invoices covered under 17.5 ineligible credit. You are required to put in 4A5. You are required to reverse in which column? 17.5 permanent reversal. 4B1. Now you tell me, are you entitled to take credit which is ineligible? Are you entitled to take credit which is ineligible? Any credit, whatever the credit, you know that you are not entitled. You know that it is covered under 17.5. Okay, law says 17.5, it should not be availed at all. There are multiple instances where if we have availed ITC wrongly and later reversed, department started issuing notices and charges levying interest. Now you only are saying, you take the input tax on car also, you put it in 4B. When I can reverse? Only when I avail. How can you ask me to avail an ineligible ITC and reverse it in the 4B1 through a circular, that too, without changing the act? Yes, sir. Even though we have availed in this 4A5, immediately we will reverse it in 4B1 as part of permanent reversal. The net ITC which travel to 3B, electronic credit ledger, will not contain any ineligible ITC. But what they are proposing is, we must know the reconciliation of X number of invoices that were made available to you in your 2B. My 2B contains 500 invoices. You tell me out of 500, how many eligible, how many temporary reversal, how many permanent reversal, how many section 16 having time barring limit ineligible, how many are already ineligible because of POS difference. These are the data which you are required to see. In order to correctly punch the data, what you are going to do? Is it a summary level reconciliation required or invoice level reconciliation required? For each invoice or only party wise? Each invoice, one party might have issued 6 invoices to you. He might have uploaded only 5 invoices in the 2B. You cannot say party wise. You have to go by invoice, line item wise, invoice by invoice. With what? With the books of account. Okay. Again, there could be timing differences. What are the timing differences? Which will lead to permanent reversal and temporary reversals, which will again lead to temporary reversal. What I mean to say, what is the timing difference between 2B and the books? Your supplier has already filed. Ma'am, your supplier has already filed. It was already reflected in 2B. Still, you may not be able to take credit because of the timing difference. You only stated answer. Goods not received. See, from Surat, November 30th, the goods were booked and dispatched. Invoice raised on 30th November. He filed by 11th December. It traveled to 2B and it traveled to 3B. But the goods are received by me in which month? December. Section 16(2)B is posing a condition that you are entitled to take credit only after the receipt of the goods. Section 16(2)C says that you are entitled to take credit only when your supplier has paid taxes to the government. Sir, 16(2)C గురించి కాసేపు మీరు లంచ్ వరకు గుర్తు చేయబాకండి సార్. దట్ విల్ గివ్ ఎ టెన్షన్ టు us. నన్ను ఏదైనా చేయమంటే చేస్తాను కానీ నా సప్లయర్ వ్యాపారం కూడా నన్నే చేయమంటే నేను చేయలేదు సార్. See, I cannot enforce the supplier to make payment. Sir, how can I ensure that my supplier has paid taxes? Look at filing of 3B. Look at filing of 3B. 3B might have filed with 1 rupee also. That is the reason they have introduced a concept called percentage liability discharge. If you compare GSTR 1 and 3B, by looking into his post login search facility of GSTR number, you will be able to understand how much percentage of GSTR 1 has been discharged in 3B. If it is less than 90%, you can make a question to vendor and stop making payment of taxes at least. Okay. You have to make a due diligence audit of your vendor. You have to ask your vendor to regularly file his return. Forget about your returns. Because if you don't file, your customers will make a call to you. Na? You always worry about your to be. Your customers will worry about their to be and they will make a reminder to you. Am I right? See, unfortunately, in last 1 week, there was, see, whenever there is a session planned, I never come to any session on 10th and 11th and 19th and 20th because these 4 days are the Ajñatavasam days, which I have to sit in front of the system only, trying to upload B2B invoices. So what happens is, in one session, which spilled over to 11th, and I failed to upload, I uploaded at 11th hour, 11 hours, 59 minutes. But this time was stamped as 12 o'clock, 4 seconds. So what happened? I failed in filing GSTR win of my supplier, my client. Next day, I just put his number in block. Because I know that I'm going to receive calls. I just send an invitation to him. Sir, I am presenting a session in Kakinada. Why don't you come to me? Why don't you come and attend the Kakinada session? He understands that Sir is busy in some other work. Let it be. Next time onwards, he will file. There's no other outgo. So the problem is, you should be very careful in making due diligence of the vendor. ITC reversed as per rule 38, 42, 43 of CGST rules and section 17.5 already explained you. And net ITC available is an auto-populated figure. There are 2 terms you need to understand. One is auto-population. Second one is hard punch. What is auto-population? System will calculate. What is hard punch? What is manual entry? What is hard punch? Yes, correct. So, as part of recommendations made by Indirect Tax Committee of ICAI, which was recently sent to total 55 to 100 suggestions, they have taken to 550 suggestions. They have sent to CBIC as part of recommendations of revised form 3B. In that, they have used 3 words. One is hard punch. Hard punch means one data is already auto-populated, but it is editable. You do every time you delete this RCM. So that is hard punch. Auto-populate means non-editable. Sometimes it is non-editable. And what is manual entry? It will not auto-populate any data like import of services. You need to punch the figure. See, RCM supplies procured from unregistered parties. Hard push, manual entry, auto-population. Manual only. Because the other party will not have a GST number. With flag of reverse charge, yes, he cannot file. Okay. When you are doing hard push value, you should be very careful. This is the word used by our Indirect Tax Committee. This is a very fancy word. That's the reason I just want to communicate to you. Hard push means deleting all the data, entering whatever you want. So, from the format of table, following is noteworthy. All non-reclaimable reversal of ITC needs to be reported in. By this time, you understand 4B1 permanent reversal. All reclaimable ITC, it is to be reported in which section? Which column? 4B2. In reversal, there are 2. One is 38, 42, 43, section 17.5. 4 limbs. 50%, 50%. ITC reversal by banking and financial institution. Common input services, common capital goods, blocked credits are the kinds of examples they have given which triggers you to punch permanent reversal. All others are temporary reversal. Now you tell me what is the permanent test? What is the timing difference? You tell that books are not received. Now you tell me, sorry, in books invoice is accounted for, the goods are not received. As explained in the example, goods are booked from Surat. But the time we receive the goods, we already crossed December. In your books, it will become input of which month? December. But in your 2B, it will be reflected in which month? November, provided he has filed before 11th. Otherwise, in the next month. సో మనకి టైమింగ్ డిఫరెన్స్ వచ్చినట్టే వాళ్ళకు కూడా టైమింగ్ డిఫరెన్స్ వస్తే నో ఇష్యూ. వాళ్ళు మాత్రం కరెక్ట్ గా ఫైల్ చేసి మీకు గూడ్స్ రాకపోయినా మీరు తీసుకోకూడదు. మీకు గూడ్స్ కరెక్ట్ గా వచ్చినా వాళ్ళు ఫైల్ చేయకపోతే మీరు తీసుకోకూడదు. ఓకే, ఎయిదర్ ప్రీపోన్మెంట్ ఆర్ పోస్ట్పోన్మెంట్ బోత్ ఆర్ నాట్ possible. Suppose you have already accounted for an invoice in your books. Goods received mid of November, goods received, invoice received, you have accounted for, but the party has not filed GSTR 1, supplier has not filed GSTR 1. What will happen? In your books ITC is available, but in 2B it won't be available, it won't be reflected. If it is reflected, you will reverse it. If it is reflected, you will do some action. If it is not reflected, what kind of action you will do? You keep silent. You keep silent. And once you need to track till it is reflected in 2B. Till such time, there is a fancy word called ITC deferred. You have to transfer that ITC in your books of account to deferred account, because you have availed the ITC in your books, but it is not available in 2B. So till the time you receive in the, you get the reflection of such invoice in 2B, you transfer that to deferred ITC, or at least mark it as deferred ITC. You want to claim in 3B. So your ITC credit ledger in your books could be more than what is available in 3B through 2B. Am I right? Right. These are all the fancy terms which you are required to understand, put forth in your accounting team, design your SAP systems, change your totally you are required to revamp the concept of availment of 3B, reversal of 3B, marking of 3B. Availment, reversal and marking of input tax credit as permanently reversible, as temporarily reversible, as ineligible under 38, 42, 43, 75, as ineligible under 16(2), as ineligible under POS difference. Different ITCs have to be reported in different places of 3B of a particular month for a single customer of all his vendors, by making a single line item reconciliation. How much time do you require? How much data required by the party to be maintained? How much, see how equipped that system, the accounting system, accounting package, even the tally also still is not ready in line with recent 3B. They are making patches, changes. You can only simply mark a particular item as ITC available and ineligible. You can't do all these transactions in line with 3B. You need to manually maintain an Excel. Okay. See, in one client, we started doing from 1st April, we asked him to strictly follow 2B. So he, in the first month of April, 100 invoices, 90 reflected, 10 not reflected. In the next month, April reflected in May, May reflected in May, May to be pending. In June, April pending in April, April pending in May, April reflected in June, May reflected in June, May balance, June reflected in June. Okay, June reflected in June, but June still to be reflected, but there are certain invoices which have not been ported to 2B. Again, non-reflection is of two types: late filing, non-filing. Non-filing, it will never be applicable. It will never be reflected in your 2B in the next month also. Late filing, at least it will be available in the next month. And this exercise for one party, and this exercise by virtue of how much is 42, how much is 43, how much is 17.5, how much is 38, how much is 16.2, how much is proviso. See what I mean to POS difference, and how much is 17.5 blocked credit. What is permanent in it? What is temporary in it? What is the permanent which is already booked in your books, not reflected in 2B? What is the permanent difference which already reflected in 2B but not available in your books? I'll tell you simple logic. మీరు కార్ కొన్నారు ఈ మంత్ లో, ఓకే, మీ బుక్స్ లో ఇనెలిజిబుల్ క్రెడిట్ మార్క్ చేశారు. వాళ్ళు ఇంకా నెక్స్ట్ మంత్ వరకు వేయలేదు. మీరు చాలా ఉత్సాహంగా పర్మనెంట్ రివర్సల్ చేద్దాం అనుకుంటున్నారా లేదా? చేద్దాం అనుకుంటున్నారు. ఓకే, కానీ అసలు ఆ ఇన్వాయిస్ అక్కడ కనపడదు కదా. ఇట్ విల్ నాట్ బి రిఫ్లెక్టెడ్ ఇన్ 2B. సో you have to do that action only when it is reflected in 2B, because whatever reflected in 2B only travel to 3B. 4A5. Suppose వెండర్ కి నవంబర్ లో మీరు పేమెంట్ ఇచ్చారు, కార్ డెలివరీ అయిపోయింది, వెండర్ ఇన్వాయిస్ ఇచ్చాడు, మీరు మాత్రం అది డిసెంబర్ లో అవైల్ చేసుకున్నారు. am I right or not? In your 3B 4A5 లోకి వస్తుందా రాదా? నవంబర్ లో కొన్నారండి కారు, యూ పర్చేస్ కార్ ఇన్ నవంబర్, బట్ ఇట్ ఈస్ ఎంటర్డ్ ఇన్ ద బుక్స్ ఇన్ ద మంత్ ఆఫ్ December. In your 2B, it will be reflected. In all my cases, assume that my vendor has rightly filed before 11th. November 2B lo vastundi. It will be reflected in November 2B. But in your books, there is no entry. Then what you are required to do? It will be auto-populated into 4A5 from 2B. You are not entitled to touch 4A5. You cannot deduct, you cannot add, you have to do adjustments only in 4B1, 4B2, 4D1, 4D2. It's a blocked credit. In order to mark it as blocked credit, your books of account doesn't contain entry. So temporarily reverse it. See 4B1. If it is already available, 4B1. There is no issue. There are two types of permanent differences. Copy of invoice is already available. Okay. 4B1 temporary, you see, permanent reversal. Suppose copy of invoice is not available, but your books is having a entry. In such case, you have to travel to 4A5, reverse it in temporary reversal. Again, in the next month, it will travel to 4A5 by auto population. Then you reverse it in 4B1. You have to match your books of account as well as, because why I am telling is, unless you do this, it is very impossible for you to match your books versus permanent reversal and temporary reversal. Assuming the timing difference doesn't happen, no issue. See, for all blocked credits, you don't worry, timing difference doesn't happen. Generally, ask your dealers not to buy cars at the end of the month. Yes. Yes, sir. Even in your books of account also, you have to punch the entries. You cannot simply play with the 3B. Simultaneously, your books of account also should be encouraged. It should be designed in such a manner it matches with 3B. Okay. So if an invoice of 17.5 comes in 4A5 through 2B in 3B, then what you are required to do? First, avail in 4A5 and reverse in 4B1. Am I right? Permanent reversal. Okay, sir. Okay. We will close this slide and then we'll go for the tea break. First point already I explained you. Second point already explained you. The ITC not available mentioned in 2B of the taxpayer has to be reported in 4D2. What is 4D2? What is 4D2? Section 16 for time barring credit. Change in place of provision. That credit is marked as not available ITC in your table 4 of GSTR 2B auto drafted. Till such time it is auto populated into 4D2. They are asking you out of 100 invoices, 2 invoices are time barred. Disclose 98 in all other ITC. Disclose 2 invoices in 4D2. Ineligible because of the change in place of supply or ineligibility due to time barring. Okay. In whatever the data you punch, very good question, sir. Whatever the data you punch in 4D, it will not be having any impact on ITC calculation or net ITC. That is going to be traveled to electronic credit ledger. It is only for disclosure purpose. It is only for statistical data that the department is getting collect. Why 4D1 and 2 is very, very important. We will see in the next session that we are going to cover after the tea break. And the fourth one, any ITC availed inadvertently in table 4A in any previous tax periods due to clerical mistakes or some other inadvertent mistake may be reversed in table 4B2. You tell me, in the month of May 2022, you have committed a mistake. One ineligible ITC wrongly you have availed. In internal audit team, it came to your knowledge that it is wrongly availed in the month of May 2022. In which month? You have identified this. Let us say it was identified in the month of November. But the credit availed in the month of May at the time when the old 3B is available. If it is not utilized, interest is not applicable as per the retrospective amendment. If it is utilized, interest is applicable, that too at the rate of 18%. That's a different issue. My question is not with respect to interest availment, interest chargeability. My question is how to disclose the same in 3B. See, it had already traveled to 4A5 earlier in May. You already availed it. Now you are required to reverse. Which reversal? 4B1 or 4B2? It is actually 4B2 only. The government also suggests you to disclose only in 4B2 because of simple reason. It is not pertaining to the new scheme of GSTR 3B. It was wrongly availed in the scenario where old 3B is available. So if that is ineligible, now we want to disclose it. Please do not disclose in Rule 38, Rule 42, 43, 17, 5 blocked credits of 4B1. You disclose it in 4B. అంతకుముందు కూడా మనం ఏం చేసేవాళ్ళం అండి, ఒక నెలలో తప్పుగా తీసుకుంటే ఎక్కడ రివర్స్ చేసేవాళ్ళం? 4B2 లో అదర్స్ లో చేసేవాళ్ళం. ఇప్పుడు కూడా అదే చేయమంటున్నారు. If that pertains to earlier periods, but if that pertains to August onwards, what you are required to do? You are required to break the data of ineligibility and reversal into 4B1 and 4B2, permanent 4B1, temporary 4B2. Let's have a tea break. అదే సార్. ఆప్షన్స్ ఏమన్నా సార్, మీరు ఖాళీగా ఉన్నప్పుడు చూస్తాం, చూస్తే మీకు ఈజీగా. అవునండి, కొడతాం, కొట్టేసాను సార్. అది అడిగినప్పుడు actually the working sir mic on cheyana. Yes, I think ma'am, after the tea break strength was reduced. We have given 4B2 temporary tea break, but they have taken 4B1 permanent break.
We have brought a car. Okay. We have shown in 4B1 permanent. Okay.
Once it is traveled to 4A5, you are reversed in.
Now I want to sell that car after 1 month.
Okay.
So I should take again credit. Second hand will sell.
See, when you sell a car which is in the furtherance of business, so the margin scheme notified in 8/2018 notification.
Yeah, the margin scheme is an option. We are not using it. If I use margin scheme also,
no credit is available. If the sale value, transaction value is less than WDV, negative margin, no liability is there. If the transaction value is more than WDV, then the liability is to be paid only on the margin value that will travel to outward supplies. The question of re-availment credit does not have it.
Your margin scheme not work.
Not margin scheme, not margin scheme for the second-hand goods. I am telling. See, there was a notification that for the motor car, if you bought and used in the business and if you sell later, then there is a concept called the transaction value. The tax is to be paid only on the positive margin between the transaction value and the WDV. WDV calculated as per the income tax act under section 32. The car value is 4.5 lakhs. If you sell for 4 lakhs, no liability. If you sell for 5 lakhs, 50,000 is liable for GST, which will form part of outward supplies. Question of free credit does not. ఇక్కడ వస్తుంది పక్కన
Kishore garu, you take queries as and when they arise.
Okay, sir.
Because మనం లాస్ట్ లో అనేది కొన్ని ఇబ్బందులు వ్యక్తులు కొనాలి లేవాళ్ళు కాబట్టి నువ్వు అందులో తీసుకెళ్ళారు సార్ అదేంటి సార్
Sir, if you am I audible, sir? Okay.
ఇన్పుట్ తీసుకోకపోతే అవుట్పుట్ మీద లేదు అనే కాన్సెప్ట్ ఈ కార్కి రాదంటారా?
అవును, అది ఆ ప్రొవిజన్ ఇన్పుట్ అవైల్ చేసుకోకుండా
అప్పుడు ఈ స్కీమ్ వర్తిస్తుంది. ఇన్పుట్ ఎలా అవైల్ చేసుకుంటారు కార్కి అసలు?
has been sold, don't take the input. If you sell it,
ట్యాక్స్ రాదు.
But for motor car is separately notified. That motor car is separately notified in that notification.
even though you have not taken input.
Yes. That's the reason we are suggesting the parties to sell below the WD. This is not notified there, then you have to pay transaction value only. If it is a business asset, any sale of business asset is like that. That's a different issue. Furniture మీద క్రెడిట్ తీసుకుంటారు కదా మీరు, తీసుకోపోతే అది that is your ineligibility to take the credit. Suppose if the credit has not been taken despite of the fact it is not ineligible, that's a different issue. You are entitled to take credit, you are not taken included in the cost of purchase, but again you are selling. See, the non-availment of credit does not absolve you from the liability to pay taxes on sales. So CBSE circular is nothing but a uniform reporting practice manual. Recently Kerala state government has issued a circular that everybody is filing returns 3B in the same old fashion without including all the invoices in 4A5. You are manually deducting to the extent of all other ITC. You are not following permanent reversal, temporary reversal as mandated by circular number 170 read with 14/22 notification. So they are asked all the parties in the Kerala jurisdiction, dealers, to scrupulously follow, otherwise it will pose a lot of issue for them to settle the taxes with the central government. So what are the points to be noted in this circular? If you open the circular, the 2B are auto-populated into 4. Whatever the invoice is auto-populated into 4A5, you are required to do 2 reversals, permanent, which means rule 38, rule 42, rule 43, 17.5 into 4B1. Temporary reversal, any reversal which you are now reversing, but for the reclaim to be made, you are also required to disclose the same in 4B2 other reversals. That means whatever the credit you are reversing in 4B2 does not disentitle you permanently from taking availment of credit. You are entitled to take the credit in the subsequent months once the conditions of section 16 are satisfied. But once you are availing in the next month, will it be in the 2B? No. You are availing that you are going to avail it in 4A5. Since it is not available in 4A5 coupled with 2B, you are required to disclose the same in 4D1. That I will explain. It may be noted that the amount of net ITC available as per 4C, it gets credited into electronic credit ledger of the registered person. Various reversals of ITC on account of 42, 43 or for any reasons are required to be made with the registered person on his own assignment. It will not be auto-populated in table 4B. Permanent route to 4B1, temporary route to 4B2. Therefore, it is important that any reversal of ITC, any ITC which is ineligible under any process of the CGST Act should not be part of net ITC and accordingly should not get credited to ECL. So they are asking you include only in 4A5, immediately remove from 4B1 as a part of permanent reversal, it will not get credited into electronic credit ledger. If you don't do it, it will go into electronic credit ledger, which will tantamounting to availment of the ineligible credit. So again, there is a column 4D1, 4D2 that we have not touched. What is 4D1, 4D2? 4D2, 4D1 are only for reconciliation purpose, statistical purpose. It doesn't have any impact on the net ITC to be traveled to your electronic credit ledger. 4B, 4D1, 4D2, two disclosures they are expecting. First, let us decide 4D2. That 4D2 is expecting you to punch the values of input tax credit lapsed due to time limit 21-22 uploaded after December. You disclose it in 4D2. Don't once again make it part of 4A5. See, the simple logic is it will not travel to 4A5 because auto drafted 2B statement itself mark it as not available. Second one, PO is different. I'm having a registration in Andhra Pradesh. Telangana is GST, Telangana CGST will not travel to 4A5. I need to manually select those items of invoices. Those two kind of ineligible credits are to be shown in 4D2 for statistical purposes. They should not be made a part of. Please don't make part of 4A5 and again reverse in 4B1. చేయకూడదు 100 ఇన్వాయిస్ల్లో 2 ఇన్వాయిస్లు కనుక టైం బార్ అయిపోయి 2 ఇన్వాయిస్లు కనుక పిఓఎస్ డిఫరెన్స్ ఉంటే ఆ 4 ఇన్వాయిస్లు ఇనెలిజిబుల్ క్రెడిట్ ని 4A5 లో కూడా చూపించద్దు. 96తోనే స్టార్ట్ అవ్వాలి. అక్కడ 4 ఇన్వాయిస్లని తీసుకొచ్చి 4B2 లో అదర్ ఇన్వాయిసెస్ అదర్ క్రెడిట్స్ లో other credits lapsed due to 16/4 as well as difference in POS. అక్కడ డిస్క్లోజ్ చేయాలి 4D2 లో only for statistical purpose. It doesn't impact your credit analysis. Then what is 4D2? Sorry, what is 4D1? The 4D1 is very, very important. It is nothing but a pool containing temporary reversals made by you in the earlier period. For example, in the November, 3 invoices are not reflected in 2B. 2B లోకి రాలేదు, మీరు డెఫర్ చేశారు, నెక్స్ట్ మంత్ తీసుకుందాం అనుకున్నారు, నో ఇష్యూ. బట్ there are instances the invoices are reflected in 2B but the goods are not received, payment not made within 180 days. So what you are required to do is in 2B 100 invoices are there. 100 invoices are routed to 4A5. Out of 100 invoices, please listen carefully, 98 invoices are matching. You avail the credit. Remaining 2 invoices are there in 4A5. 100 invoices will travel to 4A5. Out of 100 invoices, how many invoices are not reflecting in, in your books, goods are not received. You are not entitled to take credit. But the supplier has already included in GSTR 1, they travel to 2B, travel to 3B, they are appearing 100 invoices, but in your books, you have only 98 invoices. 2 invoices are not there in your books. You have accounted for in the next month. In which month you are entitled to take? Next month. In which month they are available? This month. Let's say M1 లో ఇన్వాయిస్లు ఉన్నాయి, M2 లో మీరు క్లెయిమ్ చేయాలి month 1, month 2. లెట్స్ సే నవంబర్ డిసెంబర్, మీరు డిసెంబర్ లో అకౌంట్ ఫర్ చేశారు, నవంబర్ లో యూఆర్ రిక్వైర్డ్ టు టేక్ క్రెడిట్. ఇన్ నవంబర్ మంత్ the supplier has filed the return included in 2B, included in 4A5. Out of 100 invoices, 2 invoices the supplier has promptly filed, but the goods are received in the month of December. They will become inputs of December month. And in such case, first you avail 100 invoices. These 2 invoices have to be reversed. Endukani? To keep that pending and claim in the month in which the goods are received. So a reverse chesesindi malli reclaim chestara cheyra. So is it a permanent reversal or a temporary reversal waiting for the turn in the books of account? So put in 4A5 100 invoices, put 2 invoices in 4B, 2 temporary reversal. The system will mark it as, don't mark the invoices, only lump sum figure. It's only for the reconciliation issue. System will not automatically remember what are the invoices which are marked for the deferment. Only base value, the taxable value will not come here. Only the tax component you need to manually calculate, punch the same into 4B2. So out of 100 invoices, 2 reversed, 98 available. In 2 invoices, let's say 1 lakh is the tax liability, IGST. In which month you are availing it? December month. In December month, whatever the credit you want to avail, what is the only table left over to you in forward charge, domestic purchases, 4A5, all other ITC. You put 2 invoices, 1 lakh IGST in all other ITC. Will it be having reflection in 2B? No. It was already reflected in November 2B. We have availed, we have already reversed the set 2 invoices IGST portion as part of 4B2 temporary reversal. Now You avail that ITC as part of all other ITC in the month of December because the goods are received in your books, only accounted for in the books in the month of December. And in order to provide a support to the two invoices, since they are not reflecting in this month to be, they have already been reflected in the last month to be, you show the disclosure, give a proper disclosure of that GST amount which you are now availing, for which the 2B was already reflecting in the last month as part of 4D1. 4D1 is nothing but 4D1 is nothing but 4D1 ITC reclaimed which was reversed under table 4B2 in earlier tax period. It is asking to show the disclosure of such ITC which you are availing now, which was already reversed in the last month and shown in 4B2. Why it is not saying 4B1? Whatever you disclose in 4B1 is a permanent reversal. Once you permanently reverse it, you cannot re-avail it. That is the reason it is giving reference only to 4B2, not to 4B1. So, since these two invoices were not reflected in 2B, in the last month you have deducted, reversed in 4B2. Now you are availing, please borrow from 4B1. Sorry, please borrow from last year reversal, last month reversal. Last month two invoices you already reversed, shown in 4B2 other reversal. Now you are borrowing that other reversal, availing in 4A5. Okay, to support this, 2B doesn't have an entry. That's the reason these two invoices please show in 4D1, which means this month 100 invoices వచ్చినాయి, 100 match అయింది, 100 కూడా 4A5 కి ట్రావెల్ అవుతాయి, ఏమి రివర్సల్స్ లేవు. ఇంకో 2 invoices లాస్ట్ మంత్ ఈ మంత్ క్లెయిమ్ చేశారు మీరు. You also include that 2 invoices in 4A5. How many invoices? 102 invoices. 100 are supported by 2B. 2 invoices are supported by way of a disclosure as part of 4D1, which now tells to the department, don't worry, this excess credit more than 2B, these 2 invoices, this dealer has availed because of the late receipt of the goods, and the said amount was already reversed by him in the last month and kept in a reserve, and now he is borrowing that and availing it. This is the mechanism. Now you look at this mechanism, it is very easy to understand and explain, but it is very difficult to follow and implement. Every dealer must have a full-time accountant sitting in front of the system, doing all the reconciliations, keeping every invoice tracking. See, you have to maintain an Excel database, simple Excel database. At least if the system is able to do all the markings, that's a different issue. If you are having a SAP system, then there is no issue. Or you are having some ASP service providers, no issue. But if you are not having all these things, at least you need to maintain Excel database, which will contain all the invoices of marked in the books of account, all the invoices booked in the books of account. Each invoice should be marked as which month ITC, which month 2A, which month 2B, in which month you have availed in 4A5, in which month you have reversed in 4B1, in which month you have reversed in 4B2 if it is temporary reversal, and again in which month you have re-availed and shown in 4D1. This data you are required to maintain. Without maintaining this Excel data, 1 month you will remember, 2 months you will remember. How it is possible to disclose this data without a proper Excel database? See, this is going to be a sea change. Government is planning that they want to use the professionals, accountants, and the dealers as instruments in getting all the reconciliations. They don't want to remember the data. Earlier, when the new return forms are proposed, we have given lectures 30 days continuously all over the state. We traveled and given lectures on NX1, NX2 forms. Each invoice you have to mark it as accept or travel to next month. That was already dropped. Okay. See, in the year 17-18, when the 9C table 14 is not optional, one of my client has taken a hotel room, 3 days spent in the hotel room, tried to fill 14 table. At 12 o'clock in the midnight, we have tried to filled and filed 14 table. Next day morning, it was made optional. We have given all the nonsense to the department, and we are the only transparent people. But later, because in the public listed companies and the private companies, large companies, particularly listed companies, they have their own target dates. They cannot wait for the relaxations. So we have completed, we have reconciled, we have not wait for the what I mean to say, the extensions. So we have find later they have removed it. They made it optional.
ఈ నెల 4D1 లో 40,000 వేశారు.
Okay.
40,000 ఎప్పుడు రివర్స్ చేసావు చూపించమండి.
Sir, your disclosure of 4D1 of availment in this month out of the reversals made in the last month, earlier month or the last month or the earlier periods must not exceed the sum total of the reversals made in 4B2 of the earlier months. That should be a tracking mechanism. Your total reavailment should not be more than the accumulated reversal. The accumulated, again next month you availed something. So the accumulated month by month, the accumulated reavailment should not be more than the accumulated reversal. నేను ఇందాక చెప్పిన ఎక్సెల్ ఇంకో 2 కాలమ్స్ పెట్టాను. ఓకే, 30 ఇంచ్ స్క్రీన్ కూడా సరిపోదు. Yes, you need to accumulated. See, there must be a template like 4B2 reversals. Out of April, how much reversed? In what kind of invoices they have reversed? That invoice level information of reversal must be there for April month. Next May month, how many invoices you reversed in 4B2? You keep it pending. After the invoices, whenever you re-avail it, you have to mark it as re-availed. Whether you have made any disclosure under 4D1, yes or no, you have to maintain the data like that. Otherwise, it is very difficult for you to punch the data like this. Actually, financial year, let us take an example. I have purchased in the month of March. Okay, I have purchased in the month of March. So in the month of March, it was traveled to all other ITC table 5, table 4A5. But the goods were not received by me and they were received in the month of April. Spillover effect. Table 8C of GSTR 9, table 13 of GSTR 9 will trigger. Okay, but in this case, while filing 3B, the March invoices will auto-populate. Am I right? Are you entitled to take the credit in respect of the said stock which is received in the next year? No. Then you are required to reverse the same in 4B2 and again avail in the April 4A1 coupled with the disclosure in 4D1. See, they are asking which month you have reversed, in which month you have reavailed. That reavailment should not be more than 30th November. But the concept of splitting between March and April financial year is not there because here what is reversed, what is reavailed. While reavailing, you need to verify, are you having tax invoice? Has the tax paid already been paid by the supplier? Goods received or not? Services received or not? See, 16(2)C satisfied, payment made within 180 days. And the availment, reavailment month should not be more than 30th November if the invoice pertains to financial year 21-22. If all these conditions are satisfied, you may even be availing it in the next year. Whether you are availing in the same year or whether you are availing in the next year, whatever the reavailment you are making, you have to make it part of 4A5 coupled with the disclosure of 4D1. Provided if you have properly reversed in 4B2. ఇప్పుడు నాకు చెప్పండి, మీకు 100 ఇన్వాయిస్లు వచ్చినాయి, మీరు మొత్తం డిలీట్ చేసేసి 96 ఇన్వాయిస్లు మీ చేతిలో ఉన్నాయని 96 క్లెయిమ్ చేశారు. అసలు 4 ఇన్వాయిసెస్ ని మీరు 4A5కే రూట్ చేయాల. పాత 3B పద్ధతిలోనే సిలబస్ మారింది కానీ మనం మాత్రం ప్రిపరేషన్ మారలేదు. అదే క్వశ్చన్ పేపర్ అనుకుని వెళ్ళిపోయాము. పరీక్ష అదే, పేపర్ కూడా బాగా చదివాం కానీ మనం చదివింది సైన్స్ అయితే అక్కడ మ్యాథ్స్ పేపర్ వచ్చింది. సో అందువల్ల మనం అలా వెళ్ళిపోయాం. వాట్ విల్ హ్యాపెన్ నెక్స్ట్ మంత్ మీరు 4 ఇన్వాయిస్లు క్లెయిమ్ చేయాలి. ఆల్ అదర్ ఐటీసీలో 4A5లో వేయాలి. 4A5లో వేయగానే 2Bలో ఉండవు. 2Bలో ఎందుకుంటాయి? పాత నెలల్లో కదా అని అంటాం. పాత నెలల్లో అయితే 4B2లో రివర్స్ చేసి ఉంటే గనక 4D1లో డిస్క్లోజ్ చెయ్యి అన్నాడు. 4D1కి వెళ్ళి చూస్తే 4D1లో నువ్వు ఏ డేటా అన్నా పెట్టు కానీ ప్రొవైడెడ్ ఇఫ్ యూ ఆల్రెడీ రివర్స్డ్ ఇన్ 4B2 అంటుంది. 4B2 మీరు ఒకసారి మిస్ అయితే 4D1 పర్మనెంట్ గా మిస్ అవుతారు. వితౌట్ ఏ డిస్క్లోజర్ కెన్ ఐ క్లెయిమ్ క్రెడిట్? Obviously, see, the disclosure mechanism shall not disentitle to take credit, in my opinion. because it's only rejig of numbers. Just because I forgot to mention in 4B2, you cannot say that my entire credit is lost, but it is a matter of litigation. And the department will definitely ask, accumulated credit reavailed should not be more than what is already reversed in 4B1. 4D1 should not be more than 4B2. 4D1 should not be more than 4B2. Exactly. That you have to follow. Otherwise, you have to litigate and go for the appeal. Sir, whatever the data I'm saying is, your Excel should act as a mediation between your books and the client. In which month the input is booked, in which month the ITC is availed, in which month it is reversed for want of conditions of satisfaction of conditions, in which month it was already re-availed. In the month in which it is revealed, have you shown 4D1 or not? Every information you must have line by line. It was very unfortunate. I don't understand. See, whenever a session is happening, this is a very important session which most of the people are missing. This is the session which is the need of the hour. When madam called me, I only suggested this with permission from madam. I just suggested madam, why don't we have a session on GSTR 3B? It is the need of the hour. 9 and 9C, there were only few options which were left over, which were eliminated. Few options. In 9C only changes 12B, 12C compulsory. Table 14 still optional. Till table 12, 12B, 12C compulsory. Table 18 up to 5 crores. See, 4-digit HSN for all B2B supplies. More than 5 crores, 6-digit level for all supplies is required. That's it. 9C, 2021 is similar to 21-22, except this scenario. Of course, I'm not saying that GSTR 9 and 9C sessions are not required. Wherever I'm traveling, even in Gunturu, they've given me an agenda of 9 and 9C. I just asked the chairman to include half an hour for 3B. It seems more interesting. People have missed it. See, most of the dealers also, accountants also. See, this session has to be conducted by the Chamber of Commerce. And in that meeting, all the accountants must be forming part of this meeting. Otherwise, you and me cannot enforce the party. Even the party doesn't have the knowledge, requisite knowledge. మనం ఆ పార్టీని పిలిచి పర్మనెంట్ రివర్సల్ టెంపరీ రివర్సల్ అంటే పర్మనెంట్ షట్ డౌన్. సో అందువల్ల ఏంటంటే యూ కెనాట్ ఆస్క్ ద పార్టీస్ టు డూ దిస్. This knowledge must be spread out. Otherwise, tomorrow you may be witnessing plethora of notices. Already Kerala government, within a fraction of 15 days, they have issued a beautiful circular saying that nobody is following it. You are not entitled to manually deduct 4A5. Take all the 4A5. Don't increase 4A5. Don't decrease 4A5. In order to increase 4A5, please borrow from 4D1. In order to decrease 4A5, you please follow 4B1 or 4B2. No option is available to you. It is mandatory. If you don't follow, we will come to you with penal consequences, because it is going to hit the settlement mechanism and the WATA. That means the share that they are getting. WATA the share they are getting from the central government. They are unable to properly determine because of this ineligible credits and the punching of ineligible credits, punching of supplies to interstate unregistered dealers, supplies to interstate composite dealers. Luckily, this 3B is getting auto population from GSTR1 in respect of that table. Place of supply తేడా వస్తే T2 లోకి వెళ్ళాలి, అసలు 4Aకి తీసుకురావద్దు అంటున్నారు కదా. POS డిఫరెన్స్ వల్ల ల్యాప్స్ అయిన ITC. సార్ ఏమి లేదు, ఐ విల్ టెల్ యూ వన్ లాజిక్. 4D2 లో 2 కదా డిస్క్లోజర్స్ ఇమ్మంటున్నారు. ఏంటవి? ప్లేస్ ఆఫ్ సప్లై తేడా ఉండడం వల్ల నాకు రాని ITC, టైం బార్ అయిన ITC, ఆ 2 ఎందుకు సపరేట్ గా చెప్పమంటున్నారంటే దే ఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు మేక్ ఇట్ ఆటో పాపులేట్. 2B మార్క్ చేస్తుంది రెండింటిని. 2B ఇన్పుట్ అవైలబుల్ అని చూస్తే మీరు మారుతి కార్ కొన్నారనుకోండి, దాని దగ్గర కూడా ITC అవైలబుల్ అనే ఉంటది. 2B doesn't understand what is available, what is not available. It will understand only 2 items which is ineligible. That is, one is time barred after 30th November. Another one is your registration place of supply is different from the place of supply what is located in the invoice. These 2 items, it can manually, not manually, it can automatically punch ITC not available. So filter that 2B, take the ITC not available, punch into 4D2. That's it. Till the time it is not auto-populated. CBIC Infosys team has already asked the Infosys team to auto-populate from November. I think they are regularly giving a system maintenance. You make it from me, you are soon going to receive 4D2 auto-population from 2B. The only disclosure is done. So we are traveling to freeze of 3B. We are going to witness one day, as sir rightly said, one day we are going to see all the data in 3B is going to be locked. Only reverse charge is open. That to upward revision, not downward revision. Yes. 4A5, you should not touch auto-populated figure for the first time. From the second time onwards, from the second month onwards, you are entitled to touch it only for upward revision. For downward revision, 4B1, 4B2. For upward revision, 4A5 coupled with 2B plus 4D1. Hope you understand. Sir, నాకు 100 ఇన్వాయిస్లు వచ్చినాయి సార్, మీరు 90 క్లెయిమ్ చేయదలుచుకుంటే ఆ 10ని 4B1 లో 4B2 లో కూర్చోబెట్టండి అంతే. 100 పైన ఉంచాల్సిందే. నాకు 100 వచ్చినాయి సార్, నేను 102 క్లెయిమ్ చేద్దాం అనుకుంటున్నా. 100 అక్కడ క్లెయిమ్ చేయి, ఇంకో 2 కూడా అక్కడే క్లెయిమ్ చేయి. 2 ఎక్కడి నుంచి ఫాలో చేసుకున్నావు అని అడుగుతున్నాడు. 4B2 లో ఎర్లియర్ కనుక రివర్స్ చేస్తుంటే 4D1 లో ఇప్పుడు డిస్క్లోజ్ చేయండి. 4D2 లో ఇనెలిజిబుల్ 2 మార్గాల వల్ల టైం బార్ అయిపోయిన క్రెడిట్, ప్లేస్ ఆఫ్ సప్లై తేడా ఉన్న క్రెడిట్, ఆ 2 ఇన్వాయిస్లు, ఆ 2 పర్టికులర్ ఇనెలిజిబుల్ క్రెడిట్ 4A5 కి ట్రావెల్ చేయదు. 4A5 లోనే లేనప్పుడు 4B1 4B2 ట్రిగర్ అవ్వదు. ఆటోమేటిక్ ఎక్కడికి వస్తుంది? అది 4D2 లోకి వస్తుంది. Only for statistical purpose. I already explained you temporary reversal. Please look at the last line of this slide. Table 4B2 may also be used by the registered person for the reversal of any ITC availed in table 4A in the previous tax periods because of some inadvertent mistake. Suppose in the month of June, you have availed 10,000 ITC wrongly. Where to show it? 4B1 or 4B2? Circular is saying that 4B. No, actually it is a kind of permanent, but the circular is saying that అంతకు ముందు నువ్వు ఎక్కడ అసలు రివర్స్ చేయలేదు కదా, ఇది ఒక ట్రాన్సిషనల్ ఐటమ్ కదా, సో బెటర్ టు షో ఇట్ ఇన్ 4B2. They are touching 4B1 only for majorly for 38, 42, 43, 17, 5 ఆ సెక్షన్స్. Please look at 7th point. Whatever the points that I have already exhaustively covered, I am skipping for the paucity of time. Please look at 7th point. It is clarified that the reversal of ITC of ineligible credit under section 17(5) or any other provisions of the GST Act and the rules thereunder is required to be made under table 4B and not under 4D. If a particular item is already ineligible, please route it to 4A5. Please direct it in 4B1. Don't treat it to 4D2. 4D2 only 2 ineligible items. 16 time bar, place of supply difference. That's it. ఇంతకు ముందు అలా కాదు. ఇంతకు ముందు 3Bలో 100లో అన్ని తీసేసి 90 ఎలిజిబుల్ అంటే 90తో స్టార్ట్ అయ్యేవాళ్ళం. Case 1, ITC on goods where the invoice is received during the period but the goods are received in the following tax period. ఇన్వాయిస్ ఇప్పుడు ఉంది సెప్టెంబర్లో, కానీ మీరు అక్టోబర్లో నెక్స్ట్ మంత్ అక్టోబర్ ఆర్ నవంబర్లో గూడ్స్ రిసీవ్ అయినాయి. అప్పుడు ఏం చేయాలి మీరు? ఫస్ట్ అది ఆల్ అదర్ ఐటీసీలోకి వస్తుంది. అవైల్ ఇట్ ఇన్ ఆల్ అదర్ ఐటీసీ, రివర్స్ ఇట్ ఇన్ 4B2. నెక్స్ట్ మంత్ ఇన్ ద మంత్ ఇన్ విచ్ ద గూడ్స్ ఆర్ రిసీవ్డ్ అగైన్ అవైల్ ఇట్ ఇన్ 4A5. Since it is not there in 2B, you are required to disclose in 4D1. That is nothing but borrow from the previous reversals. Okay. See, actually, what I mean to say, all other ITC 100 invoice. Note around చేసాం. లాస్ట్ మంత్ 2 రివర్స్ చేసాం. ఈ మంత్ గూడ్స్ వచ్చినాయి కోరుకుంటున్నాం. 4D1 లో వేసాం. 100 తీసి నోట్ 2 వేసాం. రెడ్ కలర్ లోకి మారచ్చా మారకూడదా? మీరు ఏం చేసి ముట్టుకుంటే రెడ్ కలర్ లోకి మారిపోతుంది. Better you convert the table color of 3B itself into red so that we will not get any alert. So yes sir, because why red color they are giving? They are the flags. Caution, you are violating rule 36(4). 100% credit is only available, no buffer is available. 2B you have to follow, you are violating it. Why you are violating? We are putting in a red mark.
A5 A6 అని పెట్టాము అనుకోండి, నువ్వు ఎర్లియర్ రివర్స్ చేసినప్పుడు మళ్ళీ తీసుకొని చెప్పి కాలం పెడితే బెస్ట్ గా.
See, our institute has made a recommendation. There must be a separate table like table 8 of GSTR 9 in the monthly format of 3B. They have designed a form, they have designed a table and submitted as part of recommendations to CBIC. But you know that whether the government will listen to it or not, nobody knows. Case 2, ITC reversed on account of non-payment of GST within 180 days. Yes, of course. See, nowadays, if you are increasing the outward supply pertaining to earlier period, there is a tax breakup mechanism available in the 3B now. You can punch the value, segregate it into last month turnover and this month turnover, so that interest will be calculated perfectly. So in the same manner, ITC, sir, if that is the logic, they can see, instead of asking all these details in 9, if they ask all the details in the 3B itself, it will be very easy for filling 9 also. But anyways, loose ends, these are the problems. If you touch me table 8 of GSTR 9, I will take a session complete 4 hours on table 8. Still there are loose ends. We have done research like anything on table 8 of GSTR 9, but still there are a lot of loose ends, because table 6 contains 2021 invoices put in 21-22, which will be routed to 6B, which will be routed to table 8, which will give a wrong indication that you have excessively avoided. There is no answer in the GSTR 9 for that. Anyways, case 2. See, don't look at this year 9. Imagine next year 9 with this kind of disclosure requirement in 3B. What will happen? So anyways, ITC reversed on account of non-payment of GST within 180 days. So first you availed. In the month in which 180 crossed, you reverse it. In which reversal? 4B1 or 4B2? 4B2, because once you make the payment, you are entitled to re-avail, na? 4B1. Next, in the month in which the payment is made, you are required to avail in which column? 4A5. Again, disclose it in 4D1. I think you are accustomed to column numbers and the table numbers. No.
ఎందుకంటే టేబుల్ చూపించకుండా 4A1 4B2 అంటే మాకు టేబుల్ కావాలి.
So ITC ineligible under section 17(5), you first wrote in all other ITC and then deduct in 4B1. Sir, can I show it in 4D1 later? No, question of reavailment does not arise. Next, reversal of ITC by banking companies, first include in 4A5, then in 4B1. Rule 40-43, first include in 4A5, next in 4B1. But the problem here is, as rightly ma'am said, asked me a doubt in the tea break, which is a breakthrough point. In fact, that's the reason she asked it in the tea break. She knows that's a breakthrough question. That's the reason she asked it, waited for only for the tea break and asked in the tea break. So every month you have reversed 42 rule. Inputs, input services, partly used in exempt, partly used in taxable. Every month you have made a reversal. At the end of the month of March, you will do the recalculation by taking the whole figure of per annum. Suppose 1 lakh is what you have already reversed, but the actual calculation is warranting only 90,000. Am I right? Every month you have reversed 40-43 in which column? 4B1, permanent reversal. In the month, in the financial year end, out of 1 lakh rupees, you have wrongly reversed 1 lakh rupees, but it is warranted based on the final calculation only 90,000. How much input tax credit you are required to re-avail? You are required to re-avail 10,000. In which column you are required to re-avail? Only 4A5. For the re-availment or the availment, there is no column 4A5. 4A5. All other ITC. Now, are you required to disclose it in 4D1 or not? 4A5 upward revision చేస్తే 2B లో ఎంట్రీ ఉండదు కదా, ఇది 40-43 రివర్సల్ రెడ్ కలర్ లోకి వెళ్తుంది. 10,000 ఇంక్రీజ్ చేశారు మీరు, 10,000 కోరుకున్నారు 4A5 లో, 4D1 లో చూపించాలా అక్కర్లేదా? 4D1 ఏమంటుంది? If you have reversed 4B2 only, you show it in me. You have already reversed in 4B1, saying it as a permanent reversal, but the government has forgotten a permanent reversal may also have a temporary availment at the tail end of the financial year. There is no answer. Revised 3B doesn't have the option to disclose re-availment of recalculation of true up revision of rule 42 because you avail only in all other ITC 4A5, but you cannot disclose 4D1 because earlier you have not reversed in 4B2. You have reversed only in 4B1. Sir, every month, sir, if you want to reverse it in 4B2, it is a violation of 11 months.
Shifted to 4B2.
Yes, sir. See, sir, there were 16 pages draft 3B recommendations made by our ICA committee. Our ICA Indirect Tax Committee has already made all these recommendations. They have identified that 42 rule doesn't have a place in 3B. You please provide a separate 4D1 is there now, 4D2, 4D3 is also there. True up revision for 42. Otherwise, there is no scope. Or otherwise, as Sir rightly said, you include separate column or try to fit 42 in 4B2. But out of 1 lakh, only 90,000 is permanent reversal. If D1, D2 put together in the year end, if it exceeds, if it is lower than warranted the actual reversal, that excess availment is only taking place in 4A5 at present in the same 3B. You and me know that it is not correct. The form was not changed. Our ICS have made a recommendation. You are not entitled to show in 4D1. Or otherwise, you do one thing, you show it in 4D1, make a reconciliation. It's only for statistical purposes. So tomorrow, if the department asks you, you explain, sir, there is no chance, there is no place to show it. Instead of leaving it red, I have shown in 41. But whether that is tenable under the law or not, or can he go and proceed against the assessee to file a penalty? There is no answer. A taxpayer may reclaim the ITC in table 4A5, but there is no option in table 4D. Let me tell you, I have purchased a plant and machinery and I have purchased certain items. There is a technical matter involved in it. Huge factories, this already generally happens. I send it to expert opinion whether I am entitled to take credit or not. He has taken 2 months time. In the month of October, it traveled to 4A5. I don't know that it is eligible. I have punched it in 4B1. Making it as permanently reversed. 2 months after, I realized that I have done a mistake, genuine mistake. It is eligible. I have satisfied all the conditions of Form 16. It traveled to 2B. It traveled to 2A coupled with 2B. But the only mistake done by me, wrongly I punched in 4B2. If I want to reclaim in 4A5, there is no support in the form. Am I right? So, yeah, see, if you say this class to accountants, they will freeze 4B1, they punch everything into 4B2. And whatever they want to claim, they put in 41. Better not to educate them. So I am not commenting all the accountants are doing the mistakes, but just on the lighter side, I'm saying that they will like 4B2 more than that 4B1, and they will like 4D1. Whatever they want to claim, they borrow from 4D1, irrespective of the fact are they crossing whatever the accumulated reversal already made in 4B2. Sir, let's do a practical classical example with that. I'm going to, ma'am, can I take 5 more minutes, ma'am? So that because the next session is planned at 2 o'clock, ma'am, in between lunch break. I'll take, if you permit, I'll take 10 minutes of your time. Whatever the theory we have understood, let us try to understand the basics of this revised concept through a practical example. See, this is the example. ITC available in 2B, 1,50,000, 50,000. Is it clear? Just follow, first try to understand the problem given, then how to disclose in revised 3B. ITC blocked under section 17(5), out of above. How much it is? 1500 comes under 17.5. Reversal as per 40 to 43. Reversal as per rule 40 to 43. That means they are supplying exempt as well as taxable goods, and partly used for taxable, partly used for exempt, and common inputs are there. They have calculated 10,000. ITC reclaimed which was reversed in earlier tax period. Earlier goods not received, they reversed as part of 4B2. Now they want to claim because the goods are received. Is it clear? ITC appearing in 2B but ineligible due to 16.4. Return filed post annual cutoff date. ITC 2B auto drafted statement itself marked it as not available. ITC appearing in 2B, sixth point, ITC appearing in 2B but ineligible due to provisions of place of supply. ITC available? No. Seventh, excess ITC claimed inadvertently in the previous month due to oversight, clerical error. Without looking into the next table, I think you will be in a better picture to answer it. We'll try to answer and then see the answer. ITC available 2B. We'll start with this amount only. Na? We'll start with this amount. Next. ITC blocked in 75. Just tell me the table number. That's enough. 4B1. Reversal as per rule 40 to 43. 4B1. ITC reclaimed which was reversed in earlier tax period. Excellent. 4A5. 4D1. I think it is deemed that you are not mentioned. Because paina kalapakunda kenda disclose cheyalem. Fifth point, ITC appearing in 2B but ineligible due to 16.4. Don't make it part of 5A. Directly, system has to actually directly port to D4D2. Sixth point also same logic. 4D2. Seventh point. Earlier in the month of May or June, you have wrongly availed 10,000. Now you want to 8,000, 8,000 wrong avail. In the internal audit, it is identified that you have availed excessively 8,000, 8,000. In which column, which table you are required to reverse it? 4B2. Okay. 4B2. Based on the circular. You may argue with me, sir, is it not a permanent reversal? Why don't I put in 4B1? The permanent reversal of 4B1 must be having a support in 4A5. This month, this is not claimed in this month. This is claimed wrongly in the earlier period. That's the reason. See, when they have stated 4B2, you go ahead with them. Don't argue with them. Okay, already మనం argue చేయాల్సిన పాయింట్లు తలబద్దలయ్యే బోర్డులు ఉన్నాయి. ఇంకా వాళ్ళు ఇచ్చింది కూడా అసలు వాళ్ళు అలా ఎందుకు ఇచ్చారు? 4B1 లో ఉంటే బాగుండేదేమో అనుకుంటా. Try to comply with the circular. Anyways, that particular doubt has already come to my mind. So you started with 1,55,000, 55,000 because that 5,000, 5,000 earlier reversal claim would not. Point number 4. Okay, serial number 4 plus serial number 4, serial number 1 plus 4. Rule 38, 42, 43, 17.5. Serial number 2, serial number 3. Others. Inadvertent mistake, serial number 7. So net IT is 90,000, 45,500, 45,500. What about this 7,500 and 6,000 each? They will 7,500 plus 6,000 of CGST, SGST is put together 13,500 directly travel to 4D2. 4D2. And this 5,000 serial number 4, 5,000 was already earlier reversal in 4B1, sorry, 4B2. Now you are claiming. So it will find place in 2 rows. 4A5, 5,000, 5,000. 4D1 disclosure purpose, because it is not having support in 4A5 through 2B. It will have to be reflected in 4D1. Am I right? Is it very clear to you? అంటే మీకు ఇక్కడ చిన్న డౌట్ రావచ్చు, ఆ 7,500 7,500 6,000 పైన ఉన్న దాంట్లో కలిసి ఉందా? కలిసి లేదు. అందుకని ఓన్లీ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఇస్తాం. వాళ్ళ ఉద్దేశం ఏంటంటే టైం బార్ అయిపోయిన క్రెడిట్, పీఓఎస్ ప్రొవిజన్స్ వల్ల తేడా వచ్చిన క్రెడిట్ ని మేమే తీసేస్తాం, 4A5కి మేమే రానివ్వం. కాకపోతే అది మేము తీసుకొచ్చి 4D2లో పెడతాం, టైం పడుతుంది, ఈ లోపల మీరు మాన్యువల్ గా చేయండి. Yes. And the second practical illustration that we will be going to end this session with this. Practical illustration on revised form 3B. Import of goods 1,25,000. Import of services, in this case it is not there. ఇది 2 స్లైడ్ల తర్వాత ఆన్సర్ ఉంటుంది. ఫస్ట్ స్లైడ్ సెకండ్ స్లైడ్ మీ మెమరీలో ఉంటేనే థర్డ్ స్లైడ్ ఉంటుంది, లేకపోతే నేను ఇప్పుడు మీ ప్రింట్ ఇవ్వాలి, అది అవ్వదు. కాబట్టి కొంచెం ఫోకస్డ్ గా వినండి. లంచ్ ఈజ్ ఆల్రెడీ కాలింగ్ యూ, ఐ థింక్. Please be patient with me. Inward supplies under RCM 15,000. Auto populated figure. Auto populated. What I mean to say, I purchased freight from VRL Logistics. They have uploaded it. What is the threshold for freight for the financial year 21-22? Single consignment 750, multiple consignments 1,500. That was removed with effect from dash 17th after working hours. That means with effect from 18th July 2022. The black day on which food products are taxable if they are put in packed conditions without any brand or not. Whether they are branded or not, that is the black day from which, even though industry is represented, they started levying tax up to 25 kg based on Legal Metrology Act. That is also the day silently they dropped 750, 1,500 notification. Now every transporter, right from zero onwards, right from first rupee onwards, they are uploading. But not everybody is uploading. Durga Lorry Transport Service consignment note istadu gaani upload cheyaledu. Dani meeda meer kattakkarleda, kattala. Every GTA who issues a consignment note is a service provider, and that service is liable in the hands of the recipient if the recipient is a notified person, irrespective of the fact whether that service provider is registered under GST or is having only transport ID or not at all registered. Only individual lorry owners who do not issue consignment notes are not covered under RCM. Is it clear? Other inward supplies 4 lakhs, 3 lakhs, 3 lakhs. This is auto populated. See, he is having some input tax credit. This dealer wants to claim they are not in 2B. 6th point, 6,500 RCM. See, already what is already populated? 15,15. Apart from 15,15, additionally he wants to include. He's a good dealer. He don't want to delete 15,000. He want to make it as 21,500. See, 15,000 uploaded by VRL. 6,500 Durga Lorry Transport not uploaded in the GSTR one, but liable or not? Liable. He wants to include it. Was it already forming part of 4A5? No. See, as forward 4A5 only comes under forward charge. Reverse charge is only 4A3. Next, ITC reversed in previous months on temporary basis. In the earlier month, let's say in the month of October, certain goods are not received, or taxes were not paid by the vendor, or payment was not made on 180 days lapse, and hence he has already reversed it and put in the column of 4B2 as part of temporary reversal in the month of October. Now he wants to reavail in the month of November. By this time I look into the example, I think you will be in a better position, because wherever I take a session, my tendency is to see, generally when I listen to the sessions, my problem is people come all the way. I'm not criticizing anybody. I'm very small person having a very little knowledge. I'm not at all comparable to any faculty in this India. I'm the least person having little knowledge. But with that admission, what I observe is in a session, once we spend some time, there must be some value addition to it. See, we are not here to spend our time. There is a CPE credit, which indirectly asking us to enhance our knowledge. There must be some value addition. Opening up an issue and completely giving you the questions without answering it, sometimes this is happening. And we are very much disappointed with certain things, that certain questions will remain unsolved. Certain doubts, certain new questions will emerge without remaining unsolved. So this that in any session which I want to take, I will cover all the issues, and once my session is over, there should not be any doubt left over in the minds of the audience. The only point which I do not have knowledge, I do not include it. So anyways, ITC reflecting in 2B, auto-populated in 3B by GSTR. Permanent reversal. You want to do permanent reversal. It may be for 38, 42, 43, 17, 5, 7,000, 2,000, 2,000. Which column? Temporary reversal. 1,500, 1,500. They want to reverse it because certain goods may not be received. He wants to claim it in the next month. Ineligible ITC, POS problem or 16/4 time board already traveled to 4D, 42, 42, 9,000, 9,000. Now, how to disclose this? First, we started with 1,25,000 import, no adjustment for that. Import of services, no data in this example. Inward supplies, first table how much? Next table how much? Put together how much? 15,000 plus 6,500, 15,000 plus 6,500. I am unable to understand. If you increase outward liability in table number 3 of the RCM, system color will not change. But if you increase input tax in table number 4A3, even though you are liable to pay in table 3, they will increase it to red color. I don't understand the logic. I am ready to pay and aware. You pay, I don't ask. If you aware, I will put it in red color. See, because it is in the manual entry option. They are having a worry whether you are paying in the table 3 or not. At least it should have a cross check with the table 3. And my availment in table 4A3, if it is not more than my inward supplies liable to reverse charge put in table 3, it should not get into red color. Whatever the upward revision you do, it will change it to. See, if you suppose there is a 10,000 tax credit auto populate, you are claiming only 9,000. In such case, you should turn into green color. We are not bothered about your downward revisions of claim. We are only bothered about your upward revisions. Hope you understand my concern. Next, that's the biggest issue which we are foreseeing in this particular. What I mean to say, whatever they see, when they are drafting these forms, it seems like they are purely revenue oriented. So anyways, now, what is the next column? Inward supplies from IST. We are not having any entry in that. Next, in the example, all other ITC. With which amount we have started? 4 lakhs, 3 lakhs, 3 lakhs. Is that the only amount which we are required to put forth in 4A5? See, ITC reversed in previous months on temporary basis, which is part of 4B2 temporary reversal of the earlier month. In order to re-avail, we have to put forth in 4A, 4A5, coupled with excellent 4D1. So we need to include 4,000 rupees, 4,000 rupees as part of 4A5. Again, that 4,000, 4,000 warrants a disclosure in table number 4D1, because you have already promised that you are going to claim in the next month. It was already reversed. Whatever the availment, not supported by 2B entry, but supported by the earlier other reversals made as part of 4B2 of the earlier tax periods, must be disclosed in 4D1. Okay. Next, there are certain ineligible credits, 7,000, 2,000, 2,000. It may be part of permanent reversal. Temporary reversal, 1,500, 1,500. There may be on account of, it may be on account of non-receipt of goods, non-payment within 180 days, or the vendor has failed to comply with 16(2)(c). And there is an ineligible ITC which already automatically travel from 2B to which table? Table number 4B table number 4D2. The ineligibility of ITC due to change in POS rules or due to time barred credit. So that 7,000, 2,000, 2,000 will take place as part of 4B1 permanent reversal. 1,500, 1,500, you are going to satisfy the conditions of eligibility of ITC and claim in the next month. So you have to reverse it in temporary reversal as part of 4B2. Then the net ITC will travel to 5,18,000, 3,22,000, 3,22,000 will travel to electronic credit ledger of the concerned dealer. And the ineligible ITC, which you have mentioned as part of 4D1, which is nothing but borrowal from the earlier reversals, which is made as part of temporary reversal. Now you are satisfied the conditions of ITC eligibility, you have borrowed it, you have mentioned it only for the statistical purposes, doesn't have any impact on the ITC entertainment. It will not travel to eligibility of the credit. It will not travel to ECL. It will only be for the statistical purposes. So because you are claiming in all other ITC 4,000 extra, that 4,000 extra will not have any support from 3B. It will not have any support from 2B because it was already there in the last month where you already reversed. So in order to give a support of that 4,000 extra, that 4,000 has to be mentioned in 4D1 as part of disclosure. 4D2, 9,000, 9,000, straight away from 2B to GSTR 3B 4D2, it must come, but presently it is not auto-populating. You have to manually select and put in this 4D2. Whatever you are punching in 4D2, please don't make it as part of 4A5. It's not required. Don't put in 4A5 and again reverse in 4B1 and again put in 4D2 is not required in respect of time barred credits and ineligibility due to PBS rules. Is that clear? So, with this session, I presume that your value addition was taking some place, or at least you got some value addition by virtue of this session. And I thank Vijayawada committee members, especially my co-colleague Sita Shiri ma'am and Netta Ravi Kishore sir and all other committee members and other dignitaries who have given this wonderful opportunity for me to share my knowledge, and also to the very small people, small set of audience. So very small number of audience. In the tea break, I think the next faculty came. Hi, sir. Sir, earlier before the tea break, we have given, the tea break was given as part of not permanent tea break, temporary review, only 4B2. But they have taken it as 4B1 and permanently they left after tea. So after lunch break, I am once again making a mention. This lunch break is only 4B2. It's not 4B1. Please don't take it as a complete lunch break and leave over the premises. Anyways, I thank all the patient audience also who have given this time and bearing with me with a lot of elaborate analysis of 3B. Thank you very much. Thank you all for giving this wonderful opportunity for me to share my knowledge. Sir, any doubts are there, sir? Yes, sir.
దాన్ని వాళ్ళు సేల్స్ కలిపి చూపిస్తున్నారు.